What do you want? I'm in the middle of a podcast. Leave me alone.
This guy who really is, I think, a bad guy. Russell, I think you are a bad guy.
I'm not going to sit here and tell you what you want to hear. I'm going to tell you what the truth.
I don't want him knowing where I live.
You can hate Russell, but one thing you cannot take from Russell is his ability to play that game.
I ain't finished playing just yet.
Welcome to the Russell Hantz Show. I have an amazing guest, and you're going to love it. GinaMarie. Welcome to the show, Gina.
Oh, what's going on, bro? I'm so freaking excited, man. I'm so excited.
Hey, we got a lot to talk about. This is crazy. To me, this seems like the kind of season it's right up your alley. I mean, I just got to
Well,
say.
you know what? Well, first of all, let me just start off the show by saying, I don't know how, because if you were ever in Big Brother, bro, if I was in the house with you, I would definitely align with you, but I'm telling you, everyone would be scared shit because you kicked Survivor's ass and you need to kick freaking Big Brother's ass. So that I just want to straight up and put the record down that you definitely need a chance to go in that house, bro.
I would like to play.
If you could do Survivor...
Right.
Seriously, because Survivor, I think, is a lot freaking crazier. So Big Brother should be cake to you, bro.
You know, I don't know.
That's all I'm saying. So.
I'm not so sure about that because, I mean, yes, Survivor is tough, especially physically.
Yes.
But mentally,
sure.
I don't know how the hell I get it.
Yeah.
I get it when you lose your mind and you go crazy. I get it. I mean, you in there 3 months?
I did several times.
Right?
3 months. Shit, I lost my mind the first day I was in the house. Shit, they have a sequester a week before, driving nuts. But you know what it is? See, I not that I love fights and I love to see people cry. Listen, I fought, I cried, I did everything. I laugh at myself now. It's all good. But when people do that type of stuff, like what Josh is doing and everything else, dude, you gotta say it's good fucking television.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So, of course you want to see that type of stuff. You just want to see everybody laying in bed and
right.
just be like, wah, wah, wah. No, you want to see shit like that. Can I curse? Am I allowed to curse?
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
good.
So, but I want to go ahead and just start off from the beginning. We're going to get on to all that stuff, the Josh stuff and all that fun stuff. But what do you think overall about this cast and how the season's going?
Well, obviously Big Brother's been on for 17 years, 19 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, the casting directors know what they're doing. Okay, do we love some people? Do we hate some people? Of course. Everyone has their favorite. Everyone has the one they hate. So, it's... If I think it would be, first of all, Paul's my personal friend, and I think he's great and a great player. Mm-hmm. I think if he wasn't back in the house, it'd be a totally different season, only because I feel like people will be playing their own personal game, not just a game of Paul's, because literally, he's running shit.
Right, of course.
And it's pretty much like his game, which is great because obviously I want him to win, of course, but it's kind of like.
But do you think that's fair?
Don't want to see little puppy dogs.
Do you think that's fair? Though?
Again?
Do you think that's fair that he's in that house? I mean, when you played, when you played, it was all new people, correct?
Well, yes, and I'm only going to say the person that had a little bit of an advantage was obviously Alyssa. Well, mm-hmm. Alyssa's amazing, and so obviously is Rachel, but she's Rachel Riley's sister.
Right.
And, of course, there's always twists and turns and, other people's family members. But do you think she got advice from Rachel? Duh. Rachel's one of the queens of Big Brother. Mm-hmm. Of course you get it. So did Alyssa have a little bit of advantage? Yes, but every season is different. Every season have twists and turns. You can go into 1 minute think you're having like a strategy, that shit goes right out the door with all the twists and turns that happen. So every my boyfriend is he's like essentially this season. Yeah. So it's crazy. So I mean, when you have an advantage, I think I kind of call it a cheat, if you will, because it's kind of like not that you're really cheating, obviously, but it's like, bro, you already been in here, you already had some money. So, not to give another person, another chance, but you know what? He's good television. They probably need some excitement. Obviously, like Frankie Grande, Ariana Grande's sister, mm-hmm. They put in a season after hours, So, you know what it is, what it is. But, yeah, I technically don't think it's fair. But, you know, it is what it is.
When y'all, like, for instance, when you were in there and you had one thing you were going to do, okay? The cameras were saying one thing, I'm going to do this. Did you always change your mind? Was you going down that straight away and you did what you said you was going to do? And how many times did you change your mind? Did you constantly change your mind?
You know what? It's
because to me, there's so many. There's so many different. I'm sorry, but I wanted to say there's so many different ways and strategic plays you can make in that game. That would drive me absolutely insane because there's so much you can do.
It's definitely, first of all, for instance, okay, so you're HOH, okay? Mm-hmm. Now, for me, you have a set target, obviously, everyone does. You put them up. But then everyone would go crazy. Oh, well, this one's going home, this one's going home. I'm telling you, Russell, everything changes every fucking second in that house. There's shit that can happen 3 minutes before the live eviction. I'm not even kidding. Right. I've been through it, okay?
Right.
So it's kind of like, but for me to keep somewhat sane, it was kind of like, you know what? We don't know what's going to happen to the BOV. Don't freaking get all crazy, thinking of what scenarios you got to do or who's going out. You have to wait till things happen and then kind of fight the fight when it happens, when it's now. Don't think of something. Of course, you want to think ahead. Don't get me wrong. But it's like kind of like, oh, well, we're going to do this. Be like, well, this guy just won the POV to pull himself off. So everything that you thought that you planned on for 3 days just went shit out the window.
Right.
So what are you going to do now?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, everything changes all the time. But the only thing that would have to keep your mind for any advice for people is try not to believe everything you hear unless you see it with your own eyes or hear it with your own ears. Because if you start believing, dude, yeah, man. Yeah. I mean, you gotta.
When you and when you see things like when you're watching it, at home, do you say, "Oh, it may not be like this"? Like everybody watches the live feed and they say, "Oh, this is going to happen. This is going to happen," and you're saying to yourself, "I've been in there. It doesn't always work like that."
It doesn't, which is funny because, am I the best Big Brother player? Oh, no. Did I get second place? Yeah. I can give advice, of course, because I've been through, but obviously I don't toot my own horn and say I'm the freaking best. But, hey, I came second. I got some money. At least I did somewhat of what I was supposed to do, trying to win some money being in that house. So
that's
okay for a reason.
To me, that's pretty impressive, though. Second place in that game.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I mean, because
thank you.
It's not easy going through that house. You have so many obstacles. You have, everybody wanting to stab everybody in the back, and then you have this competition that removes this person, and this competition that removes this person, and then. So it's so crazy to me how many strategic.
It's crazy.
How many things you can possibly do, so that's what gives Paul an advantage. It gives Paul an advantage because he's been there before. If you went in with a bunch of newbies, even though you're saying, you might not be the best, I guarantee you, if you went in there with a bunch of newbies, you can take control of that house because you know what you have to do.
Of course.
Right.
Of course. That's like me going into okay, for instance, if I'm going to put food, for example. Okay. So, they're like, all right, make chicken Parmesan. Be like, all right. So let's say I make the chicken Parmesan all because I used to watch my mom cook it, let's say, or, teach me. So now someone comes in, be like, all right, make chicken Parmesan. Be like, what the hell do I do? I have no idea to where to even start.
Right.
So, that's what I'm saying. It's like Paul, had his advantage, and it definitely is. And it's like, when I watch it on TV and I understand how, they go through and I see kind of what's going to happen, but I see also the way they edit.
Yeah.
Now, for instance, let's say I'm happy 85% of the time. And let's say 15%, right, out of 100, because I'm a little blonde mom. Yeah, 15% is you're like sad. So let's say now for 3 episodes a week that they have all that time, to make episodes. How about they show in 3 episodes that 15% of me crying or being sad? Right. You don't see the 85% that I'm freaking happy. You see what I'm saying? So it's all about editing. Now, when my boyfriend just got involved watching it, and he absolutely loves it. My mom's been watching it in the live feeds ever since after I was on. So, we've seen Josh, we've seen him on the live feeds, and he is kind of like a cool person. But, in the very beginning, all you saw him was like snapping at everybody, making him look like the bad guy, but you didn't see him to go to apologize when Megan was there and everything else. So I'm like, they put different, I mean, obviously everyone has like a stereotype, meaning, okay, I'm the loud New Yorker, or you have the Southern belle, you have the jock, you got the nerd. But that's what they do. They get, you know, a character, if you will, and then that's what they do. So it's all about the editing, but it's just, you know, I know how things can play and how it goes, but people jump and get too crazy all the time. And if you do that, you'll literally drive yourself nuts and you'll literally self-evict. Hence, like Megan did, and I feel bad because I know she has a little bit of, you know, stuff going on and stuff like that. But, man, if I was $500,000, man, I would try to live in the house as long as I could for that money. You know what I'm saying? I just put up with bullshit because you want to win money, dude. You know, it helps everybody winning money, and it's a cool experience.
Yeah, now I want to talk about Josh and Mark a little bit, because we seen just now today, this Sunday, today's episode, that you see Josh going with his pots and pans, banging it in his face, and I don't know if they're going to air what I'm about to say, that we already know what happens. But we're going to talk about it anyway because it's not really spoilers, because we see what's happening. We see Josh doing what he's doing. So for you guys, you know, it may air, it may not. We don't know. Do you think it's going to air what happened with Josh and Mark? Like when he goes up in his face?
Air. I think it's going to. Yes, I think it's going to happen on Wednesday.
Wednesday. Okay, so you listen to this podcast. This will probably be Monday's podcast. So it's no big surprise what's going on. Right off the bat in this episode, you have Josh just going crazy and you know, hollering at Mark and banging the pots and pans and this and that. Now I'm thinking of myself. Like, say I'm in that house. Now I have my different opinion on Josh. Especially because he rants. I timed it. He rants for about 7 minutes, a little over 7 minutes to Mark.
Gotcha.
When Mark's sitting at the table. Now, you guys haven't seen this yet. This happens Wednesday, but it's the same stuff that's going on. Just Josh and Mark are hollering. If you think that I'm about to tell you a spoiler, you can tune out right now. But
no. I think a spoiler would be like if someone wins and they'll be like, "Oh shit!"
Oh right, okay. No, I don't think it's a spoiler.
Funny stuff. Yeah. So I mean, no, that's not really a spoiler.
Yeah, I don't think so. So we have Mark sitting at the table. Yeah. You have Josh just constantly own him, and Mark's just sitting there quietly, and he's saying, "Am I this, Josh? Am I? Oh, really? I'm this, Josh." Oh, okay, I'm that, you know, so that's what's happening, right? So far, you with me? So then specifically about 5 minutes and 20 seconds, because I timed it, then he he is immediately like you are this, you are that, you are this, like screaming and hollering. And, you know, all of a sudden, he grabs, as all this goes on and Mark is sitting at the table, he grabs his 2 little pots and pans and he rose up in Mark's face, and he starts banging Ray going, da, 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 you know, like he does. So then Mark jumps up out his chair like he's Willie Hantz, and he rose over there and he snatches them fucking pots right out of his hands like it was taking candy from a little baby. So he snatches it out of his hands, and then he raises the pot above him, and then you hear Josh saying, "Don't you fucking hit me? Don't you?" Let me tell you what I know as a man. When somebody comes at you like that, you know, and I know you're in the game, and you have to keep your head on straight. But as a man, especially the one that you really care about, is sitting across the table from you. Now, you ask your boyfriend this if you sitting across the table from you, and then somebody rose up like that, start hollering and degrading you and disrespecting you as a man, and then comes up in your face and starts putting them pots and pans up in your face like that, it takes a hell of a man not to knock the shit out of that dude. I mean, for him not to pop him over the head with that pot and pan, I was like, man, I don't know how he did it. I don't know how he restrained himself.
Which I think would happen is a little big brother guardian angel protective Josh's fucking face. That's what would happen, because look, if you were legit, like real life scenario. Okay?
Real life.
So now you're at a bar. Right?
Let's do that same scenario in real life.
Yes. Now, in real life, if someone's going to get at my face, which people happen to do, and I'm from New York, and I'll
I hear you.
Not that I act like Josh, but like the way he says, like, you know, if someone's come to talk to me like that, you know, you're going to get knocked the fuck out.
Yes.
Like, for real. And that's how we are in New York, because you don't just step to anybody and expect not to get your face knocked in or your fucking teeth knocked in. You know what I'm saying? So if I want to, you know, boil someone's or push someone's buttons or get their blood boiling, I'm going to irritate you until you pretty much snap.
But you can't, you know, you're not completely, you're not completely protected. I mean, I hear you. Production's supposed to be your guardian and all, and I get you. Hey, if you hit me, you're out this show. But that's not 100%. That pot almost went across his face. You know?
Oh, it totally did. If you know what, and I'm not saying that Kevin stopped it, but I think if Kevin wasn't there, especially since he's like a father figure and kind of like would probably obviously break up fights and get in the middle of it. Right. I think if either he wasn't there or if Josh didn't like back up and look scared, I mean, he definitely had
that is a big deal too. Let me tell you,
it is because
it's a big deal, because when somebody backs down like that and they look scared. A real man, a tough guy, the toughest man I know is not a fighter. You know, he and people mess with him, and you know, he's one of the toughest dudes I know. This dude can whip some ass, but he doesn't look for it. And he is the softest, cuddliest guy that I know. He's just a sweet guy. And it's my brother, Brian Hance. A lot of people don't know him. He's on the other side of the family that doesn't do reality TV, but he's one tough dude.
Gotcha.
And he could have, you know, at that moment when people back down like that, sometimes you're like, you know, well, but he doesn't. He keeps on him after that.
Yeah. It's kind of like almost like you know your own strength and you know you're probably going to like crush him into little pieces. Kind of like, you know what? I know I'm going to kill you, so I have to like stop myself because I'm actually really going to freaking hurt you.
Right.
And maybe that's what came over him. Be like, I'm going to hurt you. And I don't think
you know what I was upset about the whole thing, and I want your true opinion on this. I was upset because the house, it seemed like that they were all like mad at Mark. Like upset with Mark for doing that. Now, I was confused because I was like, wait, no, this was Josh that did this. Why are y'all mad at Mark? Now, what is your opinion on that?
Okay, because here's what it is. First of all, did Josh start it? Yeah. But see, what Mark should have done, what I would do, and actually I discussed this with my boyfriend this evening, because when we were seeing it the other day and we watched it today, I'm like, listen, like I saw Mark's face in the mirror, and he looked annoyed. Okay, on the episode, you know, today when he was doing the little fit before when we seen the real fight, when the real fight that we're talking about, no one's seen yet.
Right.
So when I seen his face, he sees a face that he looks annoyed. That everybody else in the house is laughing, covering their ears because they find it funny. Christmas is in the shower laughing.
Yes.
If you show that it bothers you, he's going to keep on doing it because he knows he's getting a rise out of you. Mm-hmm. If you want to laugh and put it off, eventually he's going to stop. Because if someone's going to bite me, let's say let's physically bite me, and I'm showing like, oh, it doesn't hurt, what are they going to do? They're not going to bite me anymore because they know it's not bothering me.
Right.
You know, so it's kind of like you're going to stop. So I think the rest of the house find it funny that they think, obviously they find it funny because it wasn't towards them, because obviously he was only attacking really Mark. But like he's doing it, to be funny, Josh. He's doing it for entertainment, and he's doing it to get a rise out of Mark.
Yeah.
But see, the other house guys just think it's funny. So for Mark to get up, I think the reason why they got mad at Mark is because they're like, oh, bro, he's just playing.
Right.
But I'm like, yeah, but if he was going after you like that, getting up in your face with the pots, the loud noise, getting you freaking aggravated, you probably snap too. So I think they're thinking of it as a joke. That's why they got mad at Mark. But it's kind of like, oh, Mark, well, you got to get up in his face. But we'll be like, oh, why, you wouldn't? So I just think they think it's a joke. But it just really got under Mark's
skin,
believe me. So
before all this happened, I don't know if it was on the live feed or it was live feeds were cut, or you might know more than me, but something happened between Paul and Cody. And that's why Josh was at first talking about Cody, and then Mark butted in to take up for Cody. So that's how that began.
I'm gonna tell you a little bit, but not to give too much away. So just in case it is on an episode, so you won't hear it. Okay. So just a little insight of that is this actually fight happened after nominations. Okay, meaning you saw nominations
just
today,
now
Sunday, but that actually didn't happen. Yes, that actually did. The real time actually happened, I believe, yesterday.
Right after the nominations, this went down. Okay.
Yeah, they do nominations on Saturday. They cut it for an episode for Sunday.
Right.
So this actually happened yesterday. So what happened after nominations, obviously no spoiler alert, you know that Cody and Jessica will put up on the block. Mm-hmm. So Cody got all mad. He went upstairs to talk, and Paul was very, talking to him.
Did you see this?
I think he said to Jessica, I've seen it. I watched the live feeds. I've seen it.
Okay,
so
I missed it. Okay.
I'm going to tell you the truth because just in case they edited it for an episode, you don't know really what happened.
Okay.
So they had Jessica up there. They were like, you're so stupid about putting this up, Paul. You didn't even come to talk to us to realize what this freaking hex thing was. You should have came and talked to us. So and then Paul was like, oh, Jessica, just keep your voice down, so they don't, and everyone hears what you're talking about, And then Cody was like, don't tell Jessica to keep a fucking voice down. You don't fucking talk to her like that. Paul's like, what, bro? What? And he goes, you know what? Paul goes, you know what, Cody? Get out of my room. Get out of the room. He goes, leave. He goes, no. He goes, what are you going to do, Paul? He goes, I'm going to tell, bro. I ain't going to do nothing. He goes, leave. So Cody gets all bent out of shape. So after that incident that happened, Mark was sitting there defending Cody.
Okay.
Because Cody had this whole thing. So now Mark's like, bro, Cody's his own man, his own voice. What do you think you need? His little backup to come and defend him? Let him defend himself. He's an old man. He has his own voice. So he was getting all mad at Mark, saying, like, bro, why you got to speak to him? Just shut the fuck up. He's like, well, you really should have been is putting up with your friend, the girl that just left. I forgot her name.
Jessica.
Oh, my goodness.
The one that already left? Dominique.
Yes. Dominique, I knew it was there. I'm thinking of, Dominique. So he goes, well, Dominique was your real friend, but she needed you to speak up. You didn't want to help her defend her. But you defend Cody, who nobody likes, So he got all mad over that, and that's what the whole fight was about him going after Mark, because Mark was opening up his mouth, and Josh was kind of like, oh, just shut up, because this is not your fight. Let Cody be a bitch. So that's the whole thing would happen, which you're probably going to see that stuff on Wednesday, and then half of the conversation would happen. But if anybody has a live feed, you could actually go back and rewind. And I believe I'm might get a little confused with the LA time and the New York time, but on my time, if you want to go, I think at like 7:20 p.m. on Saturday, which is the 29th. You can watch it all kind of go down.
Yeah, well, it's already on YouTube.
In the fight and everything else.
Yeah, it's already on YouTube.
Oh, it's already on YouTube. So just check it out on YouTube.
Yeah, so because I went there.
The fight.
Right, because I went there and then I was like timing it to see how long he sat there and stuff like that. But and then you have Paul coming out the house. I mean, coming out in the kitchen area, flaring around. Pissed off at Cody. Like, he seems extremely mad at Cody. Like, he is taking it personal.
Yeah, he's super mad. Yeah, only because, like, Cody got in his face.
Right.
And, like, bro, you act like...
Did he get, like, up in his face? Like, inches? Like...
He didn't get up in his face, but he was kind of like, he's like, because you know what, when someone says, be like, oh, well, what you gonna do about it? Be like, what? You want to fight me right now? Be like, oh, well, what you gonna do? Why don't you? He was kind of like thrown in his face. Was like, so why don't you like kick him out yourself? To like literally put his hands on him to like literally throw him out of the room. He's like, I'm not gonna do that because I'm an adult. You know, so that's why Paul was like, oh, you're going to step to me? Like, because I'm going to be an adult. And I asked you nicely to leave the room. And Paul was super calm. Cody was the one who had the hothead. And then I think he got a little like offended, be like, bro, he just like stepped to me. Like, I'm not going to fight you. You know, I asked you nicely to leave. And I told Jessica just to keep her, you know, to lower her voice because she was speaking. And I'd be like, oh, you know, just whisper. You know, just sometimes people take it out of, you know, whatever. But Paul was being super chill about it. And it was all Cody. Because he gets hot and heavy. And he like literally wanted to get in his face.
I have a feeling this is about to get good. I mean, you know, because everything that's going down. And then Jessica has this power that she can just stop the nominations just like that. And so Paul put them both up. And the whole time, Jessica, what did you think about Jessica outright at the live show saying, yeah, we're safe for a couple of weeks? Did you think that was right strategically?
Well, you know, my mom watched the feed, so she kind of fills me in a little bit. So what happened is my mom told me that Jessica actually got in trouble by production because if she was going to tell anyone about the hex,
just
she
to
was
say the
supposed
truth.
to tell them the truth.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so she got in trouble kind of, like I could say something, be like if I'm lying about, oh, you know, my toe hurts, you know, I don't think I could pee. You know, okay, you lie about that, okay.
I get it,
strategic, whatever, okay. Yes, but when you have a power and you know you kind of got it and you're lying about it, you're not allowed to do that in production. It's like you can't lie about it.
Right, because that happened to my brother. That happened to Willie. Willie was in there, and Willie was trying to act like, since he was Willie Hans, he was trying to act like he had some kind of hidden immunity idol that was going to save him for the week. And then everybody was like, oh, Willie, you know, Willie has something. Willie has something. Then they brought him to Dior, and they said, Willie, you can't act like you have something that you don't. So...
yeah, I guess rule-wise, that-wise, you can't. It's kind of like you can't say you have a gun that you don't. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
well, when it comes to like safety for production, you know, like she did, she said she had 2 weeks safety, and that's where they had a problem with it.
Yeah, I think her problem is to be honest, she don't even understand the fucking hex. I'll put it that way. I don't think this bitch knows the fucking rules.
Right.
Okay, here's the deal, because the way she was reading it, like Julie Chen was like shocked, be like, I ain't gonna say nothing. It was so funny when she just left at that note because Jessica was like, me and Cody are like safe for a week. First of all, bitch, you and Cody are not safe unless you and Cody are both on the block and you erase that week of HOH. So let's say if you're on the block, okay, you could be safe, but Cody's not. So don't think you have a hex that is saving 2 people.
Wait,
that's wrong.
No, don't the hex save everybody? The hex...
No, the hex just... What the hex is
doesn't it just stop it?
Is she stops the eviction. So now what I'm thinking is, I don't know how production is going to play this, but this was my idea, what they're probably going to do between being in the house. I think so. Let's say, okay, live eviction is Thursday. All right. Jessica, Vito's played, Vito's done, Vito's whatever. So let's say Jessica and Cody are on the block, eviction night. So before, almost like Survivor, before you have any hidden immunity, I will speak now, you know, or the votes are going to go. Okay, so I'm thinking before, everyone sits down for live eviction, before the votes happen, okay, let's say Jessica ends up standing up, be like, listen, I have the temptation, I want to use it. So what happens is that it acts like that HOH never existed.
Right,
so that means Paul is dethroned. The nominations are up. So what I'm thinking of what they're going to do is like what happens during a double eviction episode, meaning that everybody plays HOH again. HOH wins, puts up 2 nominees. Everyone plays a veto. The veto happens, and that all happens within an hour.
Wow.
That's what happens during a double eviction.
Okay.
Yeah, because when Amanda, like when I got Amanda out, she left. That was the same night as a double eviction, and that's when Alyssa went home the same night as Amanda did. Because you play a week of Big Brother in 1 hour.
Wow.
That's what I think might happen if she happens to use the hex, meaning So basically, Paul could be the HOH, that live eviction Thursday night, and then he could actually be up on the block that night.
Right.
It's crazy. Because
So
I think that's what's going to happen.
Yeah. So he's going to be sitting there, and they just wipe it all clean. Everybody's safe. Jessica saves everybody, even the cowboy.
Yes. So either it can go out that way, or it can be nobody goes home. They can also play it that way. It all depends. But it's not like that, like, okay, I'm stopping this live eviction, so now, Paul, hey, you have to nominate 2 people. No, it means that everything is literally erased. That means nothing happens. So that means Paul is dethroned.
So this is where I'm getting a little hazy.
Yeah.
So let's say all that goes down. Okay. Jessica, that's what's going to happen. She's going to use it. Her and Cody's going to come off the block. It wipes out the HOH.
Yes.
So when they compete for another HOH, can Paul compete?
Mm-hmm. Well, Paul, I'm going to say.
You see, that's a tough one. We don't know if does it wipe it out like it never happened, like a wizard, or does it?
I'm gonna say Paul's not allowed to play, only because he's the reigning HOH. Even technically, it's a race, like it didn't exist. But because during a double eviction, since I was HOH and the double eviction, obviously they play a whole other HOH. I wasn't allowed to play.
Right.
So I'm thinking that he won't be able to play HOH.
So we have
But you have a really good question about that.
Yeah.
That actually he might be able to play, but I'm going to say no.
Right, and this gets where it gets very interesting. Let's say he doesn't play. He's one of the strongest in the house when it comes to the competitions. So now you have
actually.
So now you have Jessica.
Third option.
You got Jessica, Mark, and Cody competing, which are 3 extremely strong people to compete for the competition. So it is very likely. It may happen. It ain't. I don't know if it's. You could say likely, but it's very possible that the next HOH is Jessica, Mark, or Cody.
Now, how about this? How about, let's see, everybody plays, and how about they play the same competition over again? Get it? Like the questionnaire. It could be another questionnaire. Right. Be like, all right, well, we have new pitchers, and we're putting a little twist on it, meaning like everyone's got to play all over again. That means Paul can potentially play again.
Right.
That's another way they can run it. It's so confusing. I don't know how they're going to do it. Obviously, it's Big Brother, and they make up their own fucking rules.
Right.
So
right.
That's what I mean. I know what the Hex does. I just don't know how afterwards how they're going to proceed. That's what I'm not sure. So those are my 3 options of what they're thinking. Either it's going to be a race, they're going to do it as like a double eviction, or it's just going to be a race and be done like a reset. Be like, all right, back to square one, meaning, okay, we're just going to do the whole competition all over again and pick a new winner.
Yeah. And it's funny watching Jessica say, it's funny when I see Jessica say, oh, Paul, we got Paul to waste a whole HOH. I'm like, bitch, you wasted a whole HOH by putting Ramsey up.
Yes.
Like,
hello, are you that much of an idiot? Because of course there's a pawn, I understand. But if you want someone to go home, you put someone up that's like,
yes.
You just probably should have put up Alex, because probably people are going to keep Alex over Josh.
Yes.
That would have been my choice. But hey, listen.
Yep.
She got Cody in her head and in her ass, so
right.
I guess she's thinking with the wrong head.
Right.
So, that's just what it is.
Is it?
I give her props. I
it
think
blows my mind.
Okay, player, but you got to make it any decision.
Yeah,
stupid.
It blows my mind how it's like, are they not thinking? Like, why aren't you thinking? Like,
why? No, they're not.
Like, you're trying to, she's like, oh, I don't want to ruffle any feathers. Listen, honey, you're already in big trouble. It doesn't really matter. So at least try to take out somebody that wants you out. At least try to do that.
Exactly. You don't ruffle feathers? Motherfucker, you're a peacock. You better ruffle all those feathers. Now, if you would put up Alex, okay, you would have got out a really good competitor. She's not really super best friends that someone's really going to come back after you, like you're kicking out her showman, that like her guy's going to come back after you. You would have got rid of a really good competitive player. You would have got out someone you didn't like, because obviously she has something against Alex, because I think Cody kind of likes her as a person, as a competitor, because he gives her respect. So you would have just gotten her out and kind of like, or, end up going with, she's just an idiot. She should have listen, I
didn't understand it.
She just was stupid. I mean,
I didn't get it.
She just,
it's such a stupid move.
It literally wasn't HOH because you got someone that literally just, Ramsey's just hangs around the house.
It's so common sense.
Big, competitive.
Right.
You got rid of you got rid of a pigeon instead of a lion.
Well, she got rid of someone that she actually could have brought to her side, because Ramses was just floating around, like he said.
He was kind of like a wild card.
I don't know.
No, but if you have someone like that, you could have been a number for them.
Yeah, for me, Ramses was to me, I liked him, and I thought that I thought it was great. Ready.
Yeah, sure.
He was waiting for somebody to come to him and say, "Hey, I want you. You are my guy." He was waiting for that, but it never happened. And I think they just like he said when he got out the show. I think that someone could have really used him.
Sure, because you don't want to count anybody out in that game. Everybody's a vote. Everyone's a number. And that's how you have to play now. For Jessica, okay, she puts up someone like Josh. Okay, all right, you have the power. Yeah, you're HOH. Yeah, you're safe. Yes, you have a target, and yes, you have someone that you put up as a pawn. But bitch, do you not understand? No matter who you put up, if you don't have the numbers to get them out of the house, the person that you want out is not necessarily going to go home.
Right.
You have to put someone up that is that's going to better your game, obviously, because they're a competitive and you want them out, and you want to make sure you have the numbers to get them out, because then the next person is just going to come off and going to be even more pissed that you even put them up. So obviously she didn't have the numbers. If she would have maybe talked to everybody instead of just sucking fucking Cody's dick in bed every night, if she would have ended up talking to people, be like, listen, I can help you if you help me. If you're going to number me at my thing, I'll keep you safe off the block, but, da-da-da-da-da. But if you're outnumbered, bro, you can't do shit.
Yeah, and the
only thing that your HOH is worth is you being safe.
Yeah.
You have no numbers.
Well, she was outnumbered. She couldn't get the votes to save Ramses. So what she should have done, because she can't get the votes, so what she should have done is put Alex up. That was her best move.
Yeah. Absolutely right. Everybody said that on Twitter, even put up Alex.
Yep. Best move. Because who went home? Who would have went home, you think? Josh would have went home.
Josh would have went home. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
So then she would have got what she wanted and said, "Sorry, Alex, I was just using you for a pawn. I didn't want you to go home." But she put somebody as a pawn that nobody cares about.
Yeah, and I'll tell you a smart move that Alyssa did in my season is she wanted Erin out, and me and Erin were like an alliance. Now, you think you put two people up as an alliance thing, but Alyssa didn't put me up. She ended up putting up Andy. Right. Okay, because Andy was, almost like if you put up Alex, Erin would totally go home. And that's why she did that. And then, everyone got all crazy. When I was HOH the following week, like, oh, how come you didn't put up Alyssa? I'm like, well, she didn't put me up. Why would I put her up? She's not after me. I'm not after her. I got bigger fish to fry.
Right.
What up?
Yeah.
And that's what I did. That's when I put up Amanda McCrae.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Perfect.
Every step
great move.
Strategic move.
Right.
And she's literally has her head up Cody's ass. And the thing is you want to have a showman? Sure, you have someone you could trust, you have someone you could kill time with, lay in bed with, whatever. But you don't understand. There's people that are staying up late, that are strategically listening to other conversation in other conversations, and having so much more brain activity of what's happening in the house than you just laying in bed. So that's her advantage. That's why this Big Brother game is, yes, being competitive, winning competition, sure, but you also have to have a good social game, because people need to like you, and you have to have numbers on your side. It's all a game.
Yeah.
And this is what you need to play. You can't just win a game one way. You need to win it in all around and be a great player all around, not just winning competition. Because if people are like, oh, I'll just go win HOH every week. Nah, motherfucker, you can't, because you can't win HOH every other week, because you can't play the next week.
Right.
So don't think you could just win yourself out of every competition, because I might be good in endurance, but I suck at puzzles. Oh,
right.
The POV is a fucking puzzle. So you see what I'm saying? Like, people think like, oh, yeah, I'll just do this. No, you can't. You got to have numbers. You got to win. And you can't get all high on your horse about being HOH, because you're just right back down with the minions the next following week, either eating slop or sharing the same freaking shower. So you can't we'll call it HOH-itis. You can't have it, because you could be all high and mighty the next week, and you're right down in the dumps the following week. So don't get on your high horse. You just want to have some power, use it to advantage. Don't use it like you're the shit, because you're not. You're just going to get flushed.
And by the way, I watched all of your season. It was the only season I've ever watched all of besides this one. And I thought, I was waiting for somebody to put up Amanda and McCrae. I was like, when are they going to go up? So thank you for that.
Oh, you're welcome. It's funny, because obviously all of us are all friends outside the house.
Yeah. I'm friends with both of them too. Yeah.
Yeah, they're amazing. I'm actually going to Amanda's wedding in September, and they're all amazing. And that's why, what happens in the house, you're playing for money, you do that. But if you want to be my friend outside the house in real reality, that's when when real friendships and how real people are and are genuine and everything else. But yeah, now could I win against Amanda a couple of weeks prior to that? No, because I didn't have the numbers. She was a boss bitch, and people were scared of her, and they had every right to be. Did she win everything? No, but she had a great social game, and the people were scared of her. Right. And sometimes you either want to be feared or loved. Sometimes that works in different advantages and disadvantages to being feared or loved, Yeah. So, like, I knew I had the numbers. I knew that it was a time to strike, kind of like your target's there. I can get a definite bullseye. I got no ifs, ands, or buts, and I know how to do it. And I know for me, I was the only one that had the balls to really put them up anyway, and it was my time, and that's what happened. And as I said, I had all the numbers, even the HOH after that. McCrae ended up winning the HOH, and then McCrae put me and Alyssa on the block because he thought Alyssa switch, and I'm the one who put him and Amanda up. So of course he's going to put me up. Who I had voting? Spencer, Andy, and Judd, everybody in my extremity alliance. Right. I knew I was safe. Everything that I knew, we strategized that shit for fucking weeks, every scenario, and everything literally worked out perfect. Besides Judd going home before McCrae, that just shit sometimes just happens.
Yeah,
man, it's all in a game move. I had fun. It is what it is. But people just need to fucking think smarter.
Yeah, that's exactly what she did wrong, Jessica, is not having the numbers to try to save her pawn. So it just messed her. Yeah. It's messed her. Yeah. It messed up the whole HOH. Like, she ruined it. She ruined it. Now, just like Paul don't have an HOH, she don't have one.
You're not friends with Raven. Put up fucking Raven.
Right.
Like, if you're going to put up a pawn, you put up Ramsey. At least Ramsey you can kind of, sucker into getting to your side.
Yeah, right.
Raven, you might not be so sure about. So at least you have one more number on your side to get it both. Now, I was actually even questioning who was going home, because I was thinking 5-5, because Kevin's always fucking switching his votes for the past couple of weeks. I'm like, shit. So now you're thinking, okay, Jessica can't vote. So you have Cody, Elena, Mark voting. Okay, if you would have took off, let's say, Ramsey, you would have had Ramsey's on your side, and Kevin probably would have been like a swing vote. It would have been like a 5-5. Jessica would have broke the tie, and she could have had anybody else she wanted to go home that was on the block that week. And she had the POV. So
Terrible.
She could have
Terrible move.
Kept it or switched it. Idiot. She had all the power in the fucking world. Fuck herself.
And it was such a good time to make something happen.
Yep, it definitely was. Yep.
And because look what it would have done. It would have sent somebody that hates them, Josh, home. Then she could have used what she's about to use to save herself again and have a possibility of doing it all over again.
Yep.
Because when I played Survivor, I knew my numbers, and I knew as long as I keep weeding out that group that don't want me here, it just my chances get higher and higher.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's kind of how Amanda played too. She knew who was gunning for her, and she had to get those out. You're not going to go after somebody or potentially get someone out that doesn't have any harm to you.
Right.
It's kind of like, okay, they're not really going to harm me, so I'm just going to keep them around. Because like, okay, there's a couple of flies in here. Well, this one fly's coming after me. I'm going to get them out. All those other flies, hey, they ain't bother me. I'm just going to leave them be until the time comes to actually get them out when I have to win the game.
Right.
You know, and that's where Paul is playing so good, because he gets to everybody's head and be like, listen, who is like Jessica and Cody's kryptonite? Fucking Josh.
Right.
We need, even though she's HOH,
it was a great move by Paul.
Who's going to keep on going after them and fight?
It was a great move by Paul.
Why his social game?
Yes.
Yes.
Great move.
Oh, 100%, Paul.
It was because the best move so far.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So
and that's what being a good game player and being socially and getting in their head, because he made valid points. When you make valid points, you start thinking like, oh shit, bro, you're right.
Well,
you're like,
what I do, and this is how I play strategically, and this is what I see Paul doing. What I do is I try to explain to them what's best for their game. Like, listen, this is how this would work for you, not for me.
This is going to benefit you,
right? And if I can come up with a strategic plan that can help their game, then they're going to make that decision. You know.
Oh, absolutely. Because now you're thinking about, hey, I'm not thinking about myself. I'm thinking about you guys.
Right.
This is for your game. Then I'm thinking like, oh, wow, it's about me.
Yeah.
Like, yep.
Not only does it help their game, it helps you socially because you just helped their game.
And they make you thinking like, oh wow, they're giving me advice. He's trying to help me. Maybe I can kind of trust him a little bit, and that's what makes people think like, oh, okay. Because when you actually do need to tell a lie if you have to, it's kind of like, okay, you know. But then you could play, you know, dirty if you want afterwards, because you know you get into the nitty gritty, you get into the end, and that's what you need to do. But you know, it's just, I think, you know, going back to your question before with the cast, I mean, you know, Mark and Matt, you know, I think they're literally doing nothing. They don't win nothing. They're just kind of blank around. Yeah, Ramsey is just like, oh, my foot hurts. Go to the nurse. You know, the only one I feel bad for, you know, obviously accidents happen, you know, and she's staying in the game, which props to her. For me, I would probably, reductions probably pull her out, but whatever. She has muscle. She has a good social game, and she's beautiful. I thought Christmas can really have a great, you know, advantage. But another thing is I don't feel sorry for her for giving her a sympathy vote. No. Sorry, you know, and I don't feel bad for that, because I can't play with my heart. I got to play with my head. Yeah, exactly. So it's kind of like, okay, Mark, Raven, like a Ramses, even Kevin. Do we love Kevin? Yes. Everybody loves fucking Kevin.
Right.
But is he really like, kind of really like, with this laying around being like,
I don't know, man. I'm starting to see,
you know, Kevin, he's really not doing much.
I'm starting to see Kevin do a lot of flip-flopping. He even went to Jessica and told her what was going on. So if he keeps doing that, that's going to catch up to him.
Oh, my boyfriend did the same thing. He's like, listen, first of all, I'm Italian, right? That's why I called everybody rat. I'd be like, listen, I don't fucking snitch, and I ain't no rat. So if you want to be a rat, whatever, I mean, like, okay, I was like, first of all, you're a rat, but like, if you keep doing that shit, people are going to be talking, people are going to be seeing, and be like, you know what? It's going to catch up to you and bite you in your ass.
And he's going to be swimming with the fishes.
And it will. Sleeping with the fishes. That's freaking awesome. I think I actually said that one time. That is awesome. The DR, I think it was something. I was like, yeah, no, me, I'll be sleeping with the fishes. And they actually kept it on the episode. It was hilarious. So it was really cool. So yeah, man, it's
that's crazy. It's just crazy what she's doing. If, let's say she wins the HOH, let's say any of them, Mark, Cody, or Jessica wins HOH.
Cody, yeah.
Do you think that Jessica is going to make let's say she wins, is she going to make that same stupid move, or you think she's going to be like, okay, put two people up that don't like me? Like, let's put Alex and Josh up. And then if, you know, you can even put Paul in one of their places if you win the next thing. I mean, is she going to make that stupid move again?
Yeah. You know what? Sometimes people learn from their mistakes. And I said, like, okay, Cody, for instance. He played the way he played. He got out of the house, and he got a chance to win the battle back to come back in the house. Now, if you're getting a second chance and you know the mistakes that you made, are you going to make those same mistakes again?
Right.
No. You want to try to be better or clean up the mistakes and try to play maybe a little bit different, because obviously the way you were playing wasn't fucking working with you. That's why you were outside the house.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So if Jessica thinks and realizes from her mistakes and actually thinks instead of with her tips, then maybe we can actually have a good gamer and a good player and actually make a good move. But the only thing that can hurt her, if it's like a double eviction, the way they plan that, things happen so quick, no one can really talk to you, and you got to put up people, like when Julie Chen's like, all right, what are your nominees? So you got to put those nominees up.
Right.
That's the only way to possibly hurt her if that scenario. But if she has time to think and do everything, she can't let anybody get in her head. She could get advice from Cody, whatever, but you have to do what's good for your game.
Right. Well, Cody's not giving her good advice.
No, he's a freaking idiot. Tell him to go make some cheeseburgers and lay down, because he's never puts on a fucking shirt and just stares at the wall all day. Like, it's
right. Hey, your mic sounds muffled. You sound muffled. Did you? Something happened? Hello?
Can you hear me now?
It just changed. The sound changed, but that's okay.
My volume is it better?
Yeah, there it goes. There it goes.
Okay, better. Okay,
much better.
Maybe because I'm moving. I'm trying not to move. I get a little crazy, so I'm moving around my hands, and I'm like Italian. I'm getting a little crazy. I feel like I'm back in the game.
So, who do you want to win HOH? If Paul wins, it's no fun.
Yeah, you're right. You know what? Okay, let me really actually think about this. Let me see my situations here, my people.
Because if Paul would win, or Alex, then the same two people are going to go on the block and everyone's going to say, no shit, you know? But if...
you know what's funny? Which and I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say it would really be funny, okay, if Kevin wins.
Right.
Because you don't know what the fuck he's going to do. But
you don't know.
Kevin's really smart. You know why? He throws, even though he doesn't say it, I know he does. He throws every fucking HOH.
Right.
He doesn't want no blood in his hands. He doesn't want to ruffle no feathers. He wants to be buddy, daddy with everybody in the house, which he has been, but this rat shit's going to keep up with him, but catch up with him, believe me.
You cannot do that.
Kevin would never win an HOH unless he needs to be safe, and he's just flying fucking, he's on like a raft in the pool with his sunglasses, just chilling and just going all the way to the top, all the way to the end.
You say that, but you keep ratting. Yeah, you keep ratting like that. He is going to get busted.
Yes. And unless he protects himself and lies really good, be like, I never said anything like that. They're doing things because he's been playing really twisted, which is funny because he's been flip-flopping his votes, doing this, doing that. You know, so it's funny because the only way that he'll be HOH if everyone teams up and says, listen, everyone throw the competition and just let Kevin win.
Right.
That's the only way. Like, you know, that's the only way for getting someone out. That's how a POV played one time. Everyone, like, forfeited just that one person would win to throw it on them. You know, what they have to do with it. You know, because we're all free. We're good. You don't want to win. You want to win HOH? Yeah, because you get safety. But if you don't need to get blood in your hands, don't win. You don't have to. You good. You know, win when you have to. I mean, it's easier said than done because sometimes you don't win everything. Obviously, we all don't. But I would really want to see Kevin win, but he's not going to. So, I mean, obviously we know who Josh is going to go after. I would probably, I don't even know. Fuck it, let freaking Raven win. Let's see what she does because she's like, I don't know what to do. I want to see how she
right.
She ain't never put up Paul. She probably want to put up Jessica. She knows she's going to bite her in the ass. She'll probably end up putting up, like, no joke, she probably doesn't want to put up any girls. She'll probably put up Josh and, like, oh, man, I don't even know who she ended up putting up. I don't even know if she's even friends with Alex. But it's
going to be interesting.
I will
that's
see
for
Raven
sure.
win, see what she does.
Right.
Oh, it's totally going to be interesting. We'll wait to see what happens. That's why it's always a great game because there's always something that comes up, and I'm so looking forward to it.
Yeah. I just wanted to ask you a few personal things that I want to know about the house that I never asked my brother. And I'm sure a lot of people wonder about this.
Absolutely.
How come everybody's constantly screaming in the DR room, like, shut the fuck up already. How come they're hollering at the top of their lungs? What's up with that shit? It drives me crazy.
It's well, you're right. So it's really funny. First of all, it's kind of like there's two doors to get into it. Obviously, you see during voting that there's two doors going. So it's really kind of really soundproof when you obviously sit on that couch.
Okay.
So what it is, obviously, you don't see anybody.
Oh, you don't see nobody? What are you looking at?
You're looking, you know those cameras that, like, when you see an episode and you see the cameras move? There's a camera like that, like a big camera that's sitting there, and you're actually talking through you're talking to a camera lens, and you hear the production's voice, which are several different production people, because
is it like
there's like a girl, there's a guy.
Is it like a felt screen there, or is it like a wall there with the camera out the wall?
There's just a camera. There's just a camera. There's like literally like you see the camera. That's it. You're like talking to the camera, and then there's just like mirrors around you that looks like one of the rooms, almost like you know when you're in a rat cage and you have like the mirrors and you have like the two-tone glass, like when you're in like a jail. That's what it is, and you're literally talking to the camera. So what they do is they kind of, I guess the reason why people scream because they kind of get you amped up, because production will be like whoever's talking to you will be like, oh, so you know that fight you just had with Cody, you know, how you feel about that? How do I feel about that? I'll tell you how I feel about that. Because production knows when to get you. So if there's a fight that just happened, after a fight, what are you? You're angry, your blood's boiling, you're like ready to like snap. So they want to get you in that emotional state.
Yeah.
Okay? So that's why I guess when people are upset because that situation has happened, like, oh, I'm crying, I miss my family. GinaMarie, come to DR. Hey, let's talk about it.
Yeah, so that you don't have the production. The production's not saying more energy, GinaMarie, more energy, more energy.
No. The only way they probably would say more energy is when they'll take you in probably after. So let's say a POV competition happens on Sunday. Sometimes the way the day goes, and to get more information for an episode, they'll have you come in on a Monday to talk about the competition on yesterday.
Oh, I see.
So they'll maybe wake you up 8 o'clock in the morning and be like, oh, we need more energy because we have to make believe we're talking about yesterday. So that's when they'll probably say more energy, but they pull you into DR at the right emotional moment.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah, do you have to wake up at certain times?
You mean like normally? They usually wake you up every day. Sometimes they usually wake you up at like 8 o'clock. Sometimes at 9. They wake up a little bit early if you have to do something.
But do you have to
day,
get up?
Which is I'll see you in a little bit. My boyfriend just came in.
Okay.
You have to wake up because they tell you to get out of bed because you have to change your you have to change your batteries in your microphone.
Okay, but can you go back to bed
afterwards? You can now. My season could go back to bed. My mom told me that they told them that they have to stay up. I guess because live feeders were complaining and they want more action on the feed. Yeah. So that's what my mom told me that happened this year. But me, shit, it's a couple of weeks. I'm like, why am I staying up? I'm gonna go back to fucking bed. But the only way you can sleep is only in the beds. You can't sleep in. You can't sleep like on the couch.
That was my next question.
Outside on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because can you switch from bed to bed if you don't have like have-nots or whatever? Like, can you go into sleep in somebody else's bed, or I know you can do that, but can you go from room to room?
Yeah, and so no one has an official bed. Okay, you could say I slept on that last night. I'm going to sleep on it again. Yeah.
Okay.
But there's not enough beds for enough people. So if I go up to HOH. And I leave my bed unoccupied, and someone else is sharing a bed. Don't you want a single bed to yourself? So of course I'm going to sleep in that bed. You know, so everybody rotates unless you're a have-not. So no one has a bed. Me, I was real shit about my bed. It's like no one's touching my motherfucking bed. So I had that bed for the whole season.
Okay, let's say this happens. This is what I would do. This is what I would do if I was Mark. But I think differently. Let's say it was me and you got into it, and I knew you loved that bed. I would go lay in that bed, and that's where I'd be sleeping that night. I'd be like, hey, get in if you want to get in. This your bed? Get in, girl.
But
I ain't leaving.
Yeah.
What would you do?
So that's what I do, because when I was because sometimes people go to bed, different times all the time.
Right.
So it's starting to get night. Be like, oh shit, I'm gonna go hop in this bed real quick so no one can come and claim it. So that's what you have to do. And then especially when I was HOH. Okay, and when I was HOH and someone had my bed, I'm like, listen, if you keep my bed for the week, I'll give you a night stay in my HOH room.
Okay.
So I can compromise. So they would keep my bed for a couple of days, and then I would give them a night free in my room by themselves, which is also a good thing strategically, because the night before eviction, everyone starts kind of debating what's going on and strategy. So if I'm in my HOH room by myself, sitting there, rousing around like I'm a king or queen, and everyone's out scattering, I wanted to be downstairs and see what everyone's doing.
Yeah.
That's why I always gave up my room the last week.
You don't have to sleep in the HOH, do you?
Wait, say it again?
Do you have to sleep up there?
Wait, hold on. Wait, hold on. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's fine.
So say that one more time. I'm sorry.
Do you have to sleep in the HOH room, or can you?
No, you don't have to. No, you don't have to. That's yours for the week. Obviously, that's like your award. But no, you don't have to sleep in that. You could do whatever you want. But obviously, that's your own shower. But for me, when I always asked the HOH to use the shower, because it was just always kind of respectful. Like, can I just use the shower and stuff like that? So
I asked Robin.
It's all twisted.
Yeah, I asked Robin Cass this question. She couldn't. She said that's up to production. She couldn't really give me an answer, but you might be able to.
Okay, sure.
I wouldn't. This is my last question too. So if I would win HOH, there's a 2-part question. Do you have to say? Welcome to my HOH, or come see my HOH room, or whatever they say. Do you have to say that?
Yeah, they make you say it.
Okay. The next part to that question. Do you have to go in there?
No, you don't. You don't. So the thing is because everyone's like, oh, who wants to see my HOH room? Meaning, if you don't want to go up, you don't have to. So let's say, for instance, Cody didn't like to go up to see Paul. Obviously, you've seen him on the episode, like standing, in the corner. But to be respectful for the HOH, and obviously it's a house thing that, like, oh, I want to see your family, your pictures. You kind of respectful and want to go because the whole house is going.
But you don't have to
look like
go.
an asshole. They'd be like, you don't have to go. You don't have to go. That's your own choice. It's just kind of like everyone was respectful to go up and see it. Plus, it's like, not like you want to kiss the ass, but like if you're sitting out and not, there, you're gonna look like an asshole. And everyone's like, bro, like there's people with his family. You don't want to come up and like see that. So it's kind of like just being a dick mood if you don't go. But no, you don't have to go if you don't want to. But they do make you say, who wants to see my HOH room, which is kind of weird. The first couple of episodes, they didn't show the HOH because I guess they had so much more footage to put on an episode than showing the HOH room, which is crazy. But yeah, I'm glad I got to answer that question for you.
So I think this season is about to get very interesting, and especially if one of those three wins the HOH, it's going to get crazy. So, Gina, I really appreciate you coming on the show, though. I know you're a busy girl, but I had fun.
Much. Well, you're always awesome. You've always been an awesome friend. You're a great player, and I have to say, I think your accent is a little bit better than mine. I'm kind of a little jealous.
Well, thank you. All right, well, you have a good night, Gina.
Thank you so much.
I sure appreciate it.
You too, and then let's enjoy the rest of the season.
Yes, can't wait. Maybe you can come on later on. We could talk about it a little bit more.
Absolutely. I would love that. Thank you so much.
All right, girl. I'll talk to you later. That was GinaMarie from Big Brother. This is Russell Hantz with The Russell Hantz Show. If you ever wanted to watch Survivor with your old pal Russell Hantz, now is your chance with Survivor video commentary produced exclusively for our $10 Game Changers and $25 Legend Patreons. I've seen scenes and I've seen snippets, but until now, I've never watched an episode. You'll be watching me react to these iconic moments and hear what I have to say about what really happened. I'll break down my game for you, and sometimes I may even cringe. It's going to be emotional, it's going to be funny, and to be honest with you, I don't even know what's going to happen. But it will be entertaining, I promise you that. Go to patreon.com/RussellHantz. That's patreon.com/Russell Hantz.